Mars back into Cancer, January 6th, 2025, where he will be retrograde through February 23rd, 2025, activating sensitive family karma on a personal level, activating issues of Homeland security on a collective level. Hello, my name is Eliane-Nicole. I'm your astrologer and tarot reader. And in this video, I'm going to talk about the very significant transit of Mars, the god of war, traveling through Cancer, the sign that governs families and homes and safety and privacy. But first, I want to say if you're watching this on Instagram, I'm just going to post the first couple minutes here. The entire video will be available on my YouTube channel, Eliane-Nicole. My YouTube channel is my name, Eliane-Nicole. Please find me there. I will put a link in the profile bio to get there. If you're watching this on YouTube, please make sure that you subscribe to my channel. Please hit the notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. Please like, please comment, please share. It helps me in the algorithm, helps me grow my community and grow my business and grow my channel. And it puts me in a position to continue to give these free astrological offerings. If you're watching this on Instagram, please make sure that you are following astrology.tarot.Eliane-Nicole. Please like, please comment, please share. I'm trying to figure out my situation with the relationship between, my Instagram and my YouTube. YouTube seems to be the better platform for my astrological content, yet I have a certain following on Instagram. And so I don't know if you have any ideas for me on how to handle this, please let me know. But in the meantime and in between time, and without further ado, I'm going to get into the translation of Mars, the god of war, traveling through Cancer for the next few weeks. And Mars was already in Cancer through July 2024 through November 2024. But he was in the specific degrees that he's about to go back over from October 6th, 2024 till November 3rd. So if you want to see how it might play out and what themes or issues it's going to reactivate in your personal life, take a look at what was going on between October 6th to November 3rd, because now Mars is going back over those degrees. And I just want to say, as astrologers, we know that when a planet is retrograde, it's not really traveling backwards in the sky. It appears to be traveling backwards from the vantage point of planet Earth. And that appearance has a very significant oracular meaning it has a very specific oracular meaning from a divinatory perspective. And so anyway, Mars is considered debilitated in the sign of Cancer because Mars rules things like war and violence and guns and knives. And those topics don't really mix well with the topics of Cancer, like homes and mothers and parents and families and safety and security. And so there's an inherent edge built into this planet traveling through this sign. And so it brings up a lot of touchy, sensitive topics. And, I didn't get a chance to do the Mars opposing Pluto video that I wanted to do about the second opposition. But if you follow my astrology, you know that I've done a lot of talking about Mars opposing Pluto. There were 3 big oppositions. One happened November 3rd, right before the election, when Pluto was at the 29th degree of Capricorn and Mars was at the 29th degree of Cancer. And the second exact alignment of the opposition between these two very, Mars, the god of war, Pluto, god of the underworld, the second opposition happened January 2nd. And I was saying, I know I mentioned it in the Capricorn solstice video, and I mentioned it again in the new moon of Capricorn video, both of which are still a cycle we're in now. So go back and watch those videos if you haven't already. because as of January, 6th, when I'm recording this video, we're still in those cycles. Or January, where are we now? I don't know the date. This is January 7th that I'm recording this video. But Mars re-entered Cancer January 6th, so I'm a little bit late putting the video out. There's so much going on. There's wildfires ablaze in Los Angeles right now. It's very disconcerting. It's heartbreaking. I have several friends who have lost their homes. It is utterly devastating. And yet, it was reflected in the astrology that this year would be getting off to a bang, and I said that in the Capricorn solstice video. I saw it because of that Pluto Mars opposition, and even though it perfected on January 2nd, it was building in the Capricorn solstice ingress chart, and that Capricorn solstice ingress chart summarizes the entire season all the way until the spring equinox. And then it was also building in the new moon of Capricorn chart, December 30th. It was getting really tight by then. And that tells the story of the entire lunar cycle of, the new moon of Capricorn and that following 28 days. And so that Mars-Pluto opposition energy, even though it perfected January 2nd, it's really coloring, it's strongest this week, but yes, it's coloring the entire month of January, and it's coloring the entire season, taking us to the spring equinox. So, this energy is very prevalent and presenting itself in many different ways. These archetypes present on many different levels. As above, so below. The cosmos aren't making it happen, but they are reflecting what's happening, because everything in nature is a reflection of everything else in nature. There is a divine organization, and that's one of the things I will say, no matter how horrific things appear to be, and they are horrific in Los Angeles right now, when it's written in the cosmos, there's a deeper spiritual meaning, and there's a deeper soul and collective soul evolutionary meaning and purpose behind it. And sometimes that's hard to see right away, but it's definitely something that once we reflect on it and meditate and go through it, we'll have more and more of an understanding about. And my heart goes out to everyone who's lost their homes and their belongings, and I hope that it gets contained very soon. It's really a heartbreaking situation. I can look out my window and see across the city just billowing smoke, and even though I'm inland and in the flatlands, when I woke up this morning, the air was thick. You could smell, it was a burnt smell in the air. And I have several friends and loved ones, some of my best friends who I grew up with who are evacuated, who lost their homes. It's just awful. But I want to go on with the interpretation and just say that in general, this time where Mars is traveling through Cancer, is a time where many people will be feeling very depressed. It's a very sensitive time. People will be very emotionally reactive during this time. Probably a lot of crying, a lot of depression, a lot of defensiveness. It can be opening up, activating deep family karma. It can be activating the mother wound, wounds around childhood trauma. It can bring up issues of home security, home invasions, privacy, violence around families, around mothers, things like domestic abuse and abortion and miscarriages. And, on the great side, it's a time where advocates who want to protect families and mothers and homes will be, stimulated. So that's, a positive expression of it. If you can turn this difficult transit into service for others, that is a powerful way of wielding the energy, because the energy is going to express. That's one thing we know. When it's written in the astrology, it's going to express one way or the other. But, how it expresses in our lives depends on our own personal astrology and how we are wielding the energy. Mars in Cancer can be emotionally embattled, defensive, passive-aggressive, depressed. The mother wound can be pronounced. We can be feeling it, confronting it, healing it. Self-parenting is important during this time. This can bring up family strife or discord. I talked about all of that. Water accidents involving water, there are a lot of very specific transits that are happening. Mars in Cancer will be sextile Uranus, opposing Mercury. On the 23rd, on the 25th, Mars in Cancer will be trine Venus in Pisces. I'm a little distracted today, so I'm not going to get into the specific aspects as much. Maybe I will talk about them in my stories on Instagram. Maybe I will come back and do separate short videos about them. I'm a little bit kind of all over the place mentally, just because of what's going on in my city and having so many friends and family that are affected by this. It's just so incredibly disturbing. But yeah, Mars in Cancer, it'll be backwards in Cancer until February 23rd, and then it will go direct, and then it'll go back over that real estate. That's 17 to 29 degrees. So it's going to be most personal for you if you have any personal planets in Cancer, in particular, from 17 to 29 degrees. But also if you have any personal planets in any of the cardinal signs, Libra, Capricorn, Cancer, Aries, between 17 to 29 degrees. If you have any planets in any of the water signs, like Pisces or Scorpio, I think that this is just really a highly intuitive time, a very emotional time, a lot of emotional healing going on around family wounds and family karma. It's a very psychic time for people with a lot of water sign energy. We are entering into some really interesting territory in terms of how the world is changing and how we are changing. And it's a little overwhelming. I feel a little overwhelmed right now, certainly, because I have all of this information that I'm downloading from the cosmos, and it's kind of hard to translate it all, because this is such a time of immense change for the world as a collective, and it's going to change all of our lives. I definitely encourage you to go back and watch my Capricorn solstice video. It didn't get that many views, but there's so much great astrological information in there. I'll put a link in the description here. Also, the new moon of Capricorn video. I don't know, those videos didn't get as many views, but there's really good information. And as I record this, we're still in the cycle of both of those videos. And I think I was just a little bit more relaxed when I did those videos than I am now, because of the apocalyptic nature of what's going on in my city. But, and I didn't get a chance to really do my 2025 video overview. But in general, 2025 is the year that everything changes. And we are entering an elementally different way of living in the world. And, 2025 and 2026 almost read like one year when you do the astrology. And they are a year of... we are entering a time of an elementally different way of living in the world. And it's unfolding, at a rapid pace. And so thank you for joining me. I encourage you to contact me for a reading. This is such a great time to get a reading. I read on Zoom, so I can read for people anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world. I would love to read for you. I will put a description in the notes of how to book a reading with me. I will also put links to other videos that I think that if you watch, it'll give more context onto what's going on in the world now. You know, in that Capricorn solstice video, I said 2025 is going to start with a bang. You know, it's explosive, it's violent, it's fiery. Like, we saw all that coming. No astrologer is surprised right now at how these early, this first week has just kind of been like, like, we saw it, you know, and when it's written in the cosmos, it means that there are very valuable lessons, you know, spiritual lessons for us. And when we take a step back and you know, meditate and reflect on it, I think we'll get a lot of valuable growth and understanding. And I don't know. I think I'm gonna check out now. I could have probably done a better video on this subject, but I just have to keep going and not judge myself. Two of Pentacles reversed. Oh, things are in flux. Things are changing. Lots of decisions to be made. You know, weighing the pros and cons. We will feel better once we make some clear decisions, you know. The thing about Mars direct likes to be very decisive. Mars retrograde is kind of like, what do I do? You know, I think can be a little less, you know, you want to move forward, but it's hard because we've got to go back over some other territory. Anyway, thank you for joining me, and I'm going to be trying to post more regularly. If you have any ideas for me about, you know, the relationship between what I post on Instagram and YouTube, please share them with me, because I'm trying to figure out the platforms and how to make use of both of them with my astrology content, but it seems like YouTube is more the platform for it. And I also want to say that if you would like to thank me for my astrological content by buying me a coffee or a tea, I will put a link to my Venmo to make a donation. Every little bit counts, and it all helps me to continue to give these free astrological offerings. But the best is always to book a one-on-one reading with me, so please do, and thank you for joining me.